chatplace.com and pickdogs.com. It is Tuesday, July 14th, 2020, here with your live show. We're live 7 days a week, 365 years. We did not stop for the stoppage. We just kept on rolling, and we continue to roll with free picks, and not a lot of action out there, but doesn't matter. It hasn't stopped us before. And, of course, we also have, we've been discussing the sports news. We're less than 10 days away now from the restart, Pretty amazing stuff. Will we make it? They've shut down California. They're shutting down everything. But I'll tell you what, the bubble is the safest place to be. And, of course, maybe these Major League Baseball stadiums will be pretty safe, too. I don't know why they didn't do a bubble like in Arizona or Florida or something, some places with some dome stadiums. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but it might be a little bit of an issue. Maybe baseball will have to reconvene and figure it out. But, it looks like we're definitely going to get NBA, though, and NHL. So we'll see what happens with baseball. Of course, they're always looking for a way out. But speaking of which, bring in Steve Monahan. Steve, throw away your Redskins gear. They are no more.
It's already been put into the bonfire. They are no more. That is correct.
I was going to bring on my vintage, several $100 Washington Redskins pennant and shred it on the show. Maybe we'll have to do that right before football season when they announce the new name. We'll just tear up money. But so the odd part about this, right, is so the Blackhawks are saying we're honoring a chief. So it's people hate Dan Snyder, right? So he's an easy target here anyway to begin with. Right?
Blackhawks are not changing as of now.
But Dan Snyder's an easy target, right? I mean, he's a super easy target. So, the Braves talking about the tomahawk chop, which it's not even yours,
Exactly. He stole it from Florida State.
It's like, because so the history of the tomahawk chop in Atlanta, which is not like a deep-rooted history, Back in the days when I used to go to Fulton County Stadium in Atlanta, a couple times a summer when I was a kid, grew up in Miami to go see Hank Aaron. It was there was no tomahawk chop. Actually, there was nobody there. Pretty much nobody. No, it was me, Biff Pocoroba, and the Hammer, and that was pretty much it.
And Ralph Garr.
Well, Tom Paciorek happened to stop by for a cup of coffee, and I know the whole team. These were our team long before they were America's team. But the tomahawk chop. When Deion Sanders was a member of the Atlanta Braves, some fans started chopping in the center field, the Florida State chop. Of course, Deion played for Florida State, and that is the history of the tomahawk chop in Atlanta. So them eliminating the tomahawk chop is hardly eliminating the Washington Redskins, the the Cleveland Indians, it's not even a Miami, I mean.
Pick an Indian name of any sorts, right?
Illinois, right? The Fighting Illini.
The Fighting Illini, and on and on. I'll give the Braves credit for getting ahead of this. They're not they're saying they're not going to change the Braves, and if they get rid of the tomahawk chop, like you said, wasn't theirs to begin with, and hopefully they fall and then they move on to the next team that they want.
How about How about anyone that's ever watched the Dukes of Hazzard racist? How does that work?
I can't comment because I've never seen the Dukes of Hazzard.
All right, but this was obviously a show that ran on CBS for many years. How about CBS?
Right.
The car had a Confederate flag on the roof of the car. I don't know.
You're right. Maybe the Dukes of Hazzard will never see the light of day again.
Oh, they never will see the light of day again. But they're not. It's not what you've done. Just what you've done today. It's the joint you smoked at the bus stop in 8th grade. It's coming back. It's the hair test, right? It's coming back. It's coming back to get you. It's like today is 7/14. I always associate it with the Quaalude, and maybe it's just my generation. But it's And what a generation it was, right?
Ooh.
But
For us to last this long, I tell you.
I always say if I
What a
knew it was
jungle.
gonna if I knew I was gonna live this long, I would have taken a lot better care of myself. But yeah, it's a really tough double and triple standard being issued out there as to who's accountable for what's happened in the past and who's not at this point. When you're saying, when you have Max Kellerman, right, on there talking about how despicable the Redskins are, right? But where the hell were you for the last 10 years not saying this every single day, It's like all of a sudden, it's like, oh yeah, it's kind of like, it's like kind of like when someone gets, I watched Below Deck, right? So Captain Sandy yells at, one of the mates last night for being misogynist, right? And she yells at one of the guys, and then like the other person, like after she's done, says, "And I don't want you doing." It's like, yeah, it's kind of like we call it beating it into the ground, a little bit. I don't know. I think where does it stop? I mean, I guess Les Moonves is out in CBS anyways. I mean, he probably had something to do with the Dukes, but I don't know. Then there was a Dukes of Hazzard movie. There were some people that were in the movie. Jessica Simpson was one of them. And is she on the outs? How about the guy that directed the Dukes?
Right. And where does it stop?
Where does the line get drawn? Especially if Max Kellerman's going to say Dan Snyder was despicable all the way back, and he just did it for the money. Then what about the guys who did the Dukes of Hazzard with the rebel flag all the way back? At a certain point, can you say, and this is what I've said all along, right? Because I come from the South, so it's like I'm not from the Deep South, but I have friends from the Deep South from where I'm at, and it's like I've known people throughout years, and there is an education process. It's kind of like, have you ever had a friend that found God? It's like they used to be like the worst of the worst, right? And now it's like they found God and whatever. And it's kind of like, it's like, where does that? If there's no consistency to this judgment, it's kind of like, if it was me, right? And it's like, thankfully I don't have any skeletons to jump on because everything I've said has been so transparent, right? So there's nothing to dig up, right? It's pretty much just, it's here, right? It's all here. But
I would have dug it up by now.
Yeah, believe me, it's there's nothing to dig because it's already all out on the table. It's like I've never glossed over. I've never just said taking the high road.
Yeah, that's not in your DNA.
Yeah, let it go. Just let it go. I have that shirt. Maybe I should put it up over here. You need to let that shit go. I think I am going to put it up there.
What do you think of the University of Texas naming the field now for Earl Campbell and Ricky Williams? And
didn't see it.
Yeah, they had a good PR day yesterday. They're honoring. They're putting a statue of the first African American player at Texas. So the stadium is named Darrell K. Royal Memorial Stadium. I believe that's staying the same, but they're going to name the field after Earl Campbell and Ricky Williams. So Texas, and again, they talked about the Eyes of Texas song being put to the wayside. So Texas is trying to get ahead of this, and Earl Campbell is one of my all-time favorite.
Yeah, Earl Campbell. I always mention him in
all-time favorites.
In my discussion of top running backs of all time, I always mention Earl Campbell, and the Tyler Rose, certainly one of my, not just my favorite running backs, one of my all-time favorite players. And definitely when I think of Texas players, my favorite Texas player of all time is Earl Campbell, and Johnny Lamb Jones on the opposite side of the spectrum. But I just think that there has to be some sort of consistency here, and I think that part of the inconsistency is that there's zero allowance for an upbringing and educational process here. Right? It's like,
Sure.
It's like, Deshaun Jackson, right, he went to Cal and somehow is an idiot, right? I mean, this is sort of it's like, it's great that a guy like this gets an opportunity. A guy obviously this stupid, right, gets an opportunity to go to a school like Cal, who would never let you or I in the door, right?
Absolutely.
They don't even like us saying Cal on the show, right?
Correct.
They don't even like us saying it. But but you know, he's allowed an education process here. Why wasn't Paula Dean offered one? You know, I don't know. I'm not saying she should get one, you know, and I don't know how far and whatever it goes in between. But that was her excuse was, Paula Dean, what she said was, this is when I was young, and this is the culture that I was brought up in, and I didn't know any better.
And I didn't know any better.
And I
That's
didn't know
exactly right.
And I didn't know any different, and I didn't know any better. As I got older and I learned more, obviously,
yes,
I learned
my
more.
opinion changed, and so on and so forth. That is correct.
What's the next name for the Redskins? We can show this one again when we get the Pick Dogs on here, because I think it should be the Washington Pick Dogs.
The name I'm actually hearing is the Red Tails.
I'm hearing Warriors.
I'm hearing, well, he was going to name his arena football team the Warriors when he bought them in the late 90s or something. But somehow it's being held up on trademark issues. And I think it's going to be the Red Tails. That's my guess.
I'm not saying free Paula Dean. I'm just saying that I'm just use her as the example here because she was held so accountable, and you know, I don't even have a full understanding or knowledge of everything that happened there. I just use her as an example because here's someone that supposedly said someone a long time ago.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, it kind of came up and got her, kind of like Mark Furman reading a script, a TV script, and being held accountable for what was in the script.
Right.
You know, and I mean, do the guys who played, you know, the slave masters in Roots, are they held to the same accountability? And you know, I was listening. What was I listening to the other day? That it was like, oh my God, they would never allow this today. You know, it was I don't know. I'll remember it, but it was like, I'm like, this would never fly in any way, shape, or form.
I will say yesterday when it was officially announced that the Redskins were changing their name, even though we knew this was going to happen for the last, 3 weeks, a month, I got to say I did a double take, meaning, you know, they've been the Redskins for 70, 80 years. The initial intent was to honor an Indian chief, I think. It was the logo that replaced the yellow helmet with the R. I am not in any way condoning the Redskins name. I'm just saying, as a football fan and being 55 years old, all we knew were the Washington Redskins. So it's really about the team. It's about the players. It's about the community. I get that. I'm just saying it's just going to take me a little longer to get used to a new name for the Washington Redskins. That's all.
So Kevin Bowman's one of the many people that wrote me an email, and when I hit the reply button, the email got bounced back. And so you send it to, you send it from one email that I couldn't send emails back to. That's why I always tell people, use the Facebook group or use use a different way of communication. I answered all of your questions, but they all came bouncing back to me. So I wasted my time. Thank you. I know Kevin didn't intend that or anything. Most of our audience, not all that tech savvy. But speaking about not all that tech savvy, got to get Ruffalo in here. Can't let that one slide. And then me and get Rod. How's it going, guys? Morning.
Going good.
Chris?
Morning.
Can't hear Chris, of course. And better way to do it. It's the best Ruffalo.
Now, still can't hear you.
Oh, man. But what do we got today? Just not a lot going on, right, in the world of sports?
Yeah, not a lot.
I know there's
soccer more.
there's some, but it's like just because we don't have a lot in the major leagues, in some of the lower English leagues and stuff, there's a ton of action, right? So there's still plenty to
Yeah,
bet
like
on out
in like the English soccer in their division, I think there's like 20 something games today. Or in the English league, in England's Champion League, there's a whole pile of games.
So
I don't.
what do you guys have on tap as far as picks for today? I know we got MMA tomorrow, Wednesday MMA. It's nice having
And NASCAR.
It's nice and NASCAR.
Yeah, and
We
NASCAR
don't
tomorrow.
we don't have to have Jeter on, do we?
I don't think he can make it.
Oh,
I think he's working.
that's depressing. I'm just kidding.
So no touching the paint.
All right. Well, what do we got today, Chris? Any? Do you like any of these games today?
I have two of the sides in the premium area.
So we have MLS. I know we have. Or New York against Orlando, and Philadelphia against Miami. Miami horrible at this MLS thing.
Yes, they are. So for me, that's one game I like today. I'm keying in on the MLS, the Philadelphia Union versus this expansion Inter Miami. Give me Philadelphia Union money line plus 135. I really like that today.
Will you guys be doing an NHL preview show? Are you guys going to talk about hockey on our live show?
Of course.
When there's hockey?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
just
that's what it
checking.
is.
Just checking. You think Tiger makes the cut this weekend, Zawacki?
Yes, I do. I think it's shown when he takes these little breaks, he comes back and actually plays half decent. So yeah, I think he's there.
Yeah, and I actually am.
I think-
I actually am friends with people like friends of Tigers. Okay, and I know that during his time off, when he takes a lot of time off, a lot of people think that he's practicing and doing stuff like that. And he does a little bit of that, but actually most of that time he just spends it with his kids. It's really the down and dirty.
So he's playing golf with his daughter.
That's his son and daughter. He hangs out with them and does all this stuff.
Yeah,
It's like-
But then he's got stuff in his backyard too. So got a net. He whacks, and I'm sure he's got a putting green back there too.
Well, he's got. I mean, he pretty much has it all. Chris, what do you like today in soccer?
Yeah, for me, I like in the EPL. I went with the over 3.5 in Chelsea versus Norwich. I could easily see this being a 4-0 game, 3-1, something of the like. I don't see. Norwich has already done this season, and Chelsea's fighting for a top 4 spot, so I'll take the over 3.5.
And in that one, I'll take Chelsea minus 2.5. I think I easily see them winning by 3.
Anything else?
And my other one, in the Serie A, I like Atalanta and Brescia to go over 3.5 as well. Atalanta's just the highest scoring team in the league. Brescia's probably getting relegated as well, so I'll take over 3.5. But I have premium picks on both sides in both of those games on Pick Dogs in the premium area.
For me, in this game, I'm taking at Atlanta minus the 2.5. I think they easily win by 3 goals over Brescia. Brescia's not going to get. They'd be lucky if they get a goal. Give me at Atlanta minus 2.5 at plus 105.
Anything in the MLS games? They seem to be super popular, way more popular in the with us than these European soccer games. Anything? I know Chris has been following them.
Yeah, for me, for the Inter Miami game, I mean, yeah, they're 0-3, but I mean they're all 1-goal losses, and they probably could have had a draw if there wasn't 12 minutes of stoppage time against Orlando.
They're
so
the
I
best
think I'll
0-3 team.
they're going to be competitive for probably being an expansion team this year.
All right, good
So
story.
I'll take the under in the Inter Miami, Philadelphia game.
How about the other game? Anything? Who's playing?
I'll take New York City FC. I think they're the better team. Orlando's hosting it, but again, I think New York City has a point to prove after a slow start.
Rod?
I like a draw.
Any
Draw.
opinion on
I like
these?
a draw. Give me Orlando to draw, and I really like Philadelphia to beat Inter Miami. Give
You guys
me
have any-
Philadelphia Union.
Anything cooking in the premium area today for you, Ruffalo? You said something. You got a couple picks in there.
Yeah, I've got one for the EPL game, and I have one for the Serie A game today.
Anything for you, Rod, in the premium?
Yeah, I got one pick in the premium area, and it's on tonight's finals in the basketball tournament. The
All right.
finals between
I have-
Golden Eagles.
I have no premium picks. I refuse to reach into sports that I know nothing about, like soccer, NASCAR, and UFC, and tennis, and stuff like that. I will do the as soon as NBA and baseball start, I'll be loading it up with picks just like normal. I know that some of the guys who are better at this stuff, Rod, Chris, Al Ninos is doing it, Goran's doing soccer, Bittler's doing UFC. Spread Knowledge has a bunch of soccer picks in there. So, whatever. Anyway, let's bring Steve back in. And so, before we do our wrap up, anything here on what's the general consensus with you guys on this Redskins name? And you have any other ideas besides pick dogs for Redskins?
Getting that sponsorship thing going on.
I could see Dan Snyder being the first guy to call it like the Washington Rolaids. I can see him doing it. All right, you buy on the Redskins, we'll go. It's gonna be Washington Rolaids. Yeah, we just signed a $19 million.
Could the trademark thing be the Washington Generals that's holding it up? The foe of the Harlem Globetrotters? Could it be something like with a military connotation to it? Throwing that out there.
Could be.
Yeah, I think that's maybe.
Any
He wants to stick with product.
Will there
placement.
be
They could be the Washington Red Vines.
Will there be a color scheme change?
There will not be. I believe they're sticking to Golden Burger.
I think they go to red, white, and blue and just be the Nationals, just like kind of the St. Louis Cardinals were. Anyways,
well, the other curious thing is, why is Ron Rivera like so front and center? Like, with the name change here. I get he's a head coach. He's been the head coach for 4 minutes, for Christ's sakes. Just throwing that out there.
I believe he's from Latin descent, Steve. So
Rivera sounds Latin descentish.
So he probably,
If they excluded him, they'd be in more hot water.
probably.
Right. I get it.
I'll just tell you this much: the less the name Dan Snyder is mentioned in the news, probably better for this organization. So that's why they have Rivera. It's like Dan Snyder and Ron Rivera will be released, right? It's kind of like.
But Snyder has been quiet, for him.
No, he's going through. It's kind of like Steinbrenner.
Oh yeah.
It's like Jerry Jones being quiet.
That's right. You're right.
This is Jerry Jones being quiet. It's like you see the guy, like you see the war room, and they're like pointing at the board like this, and Jerry Jones hits the button, like a little jolt of electric shock coming through. It's like the Hangover scene in the face. Speaking in the face, Ruffalo, what you got for us?
Just going back to soccer a little bit. News came out today that Manchester City had their Champions League ban overturned, so they're going to be in the Champions League next year, and they had their fine reduced from 30 million euros to 10 million euros, but it's for this financial fair play allegations or whatever. But it's not often I agree with Jose Mourinho's outspoken, but if you're going to say that they're not guilty of something, either make it $30 million reduced to zero, or don't reduce the fine they're guilty. Don't find a middle ground. Because then you're still saying, they're still guilty of something, but that's not what this decision says. So put your foot down, make a decision. This just all seems very fishy to me.
There's only one Ricky Hatton. Rod?
Well, I don't know if anybody else has seen this. What they're doing in the MLB is you can pay $50 and you can get a nice cardboard cutout picture of yourself put into the seat. So reserve your virtual seat now at your local MLB stadium and
Give me 3 dimes worth of pick dogs.
that's what I was thinking. I was like, we need to get a whole section of all pig dogs. Have the little pig dogs logo
Behind
in
the plate.
Yeah, right behind the plate there.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yankees, Red Sox. Anything else is going to be on TV? Like Cubs.
Yeah.
All the
Yeah,
TV
I was
teams. The made-for-TV teams.
And the little logo will fit nicely into the little picture slot that they give you that say if it's outside this, your head will get cut off. So watch out. So there's some people who didn't do it right that you see their head actually cut off of the actual picture in the seat. It's like, uh-oh.
What are the odds of someone accusing the Houston Astros of cutting out the eyes of the cutouts and like using that to spy on the other team?
And someone peeking in there.
Anyways, got Steve Monahan. Steve?
All right. So the New York Mets are back up for sale. They had a tentative deal with a gentleman named Steve Cohen, who has more money than God. And Cohen, several months ago, told the Wilpons, I'm backing out, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a new group. Now, Cohen is still in the mix. Cohen has put an offer in for $2 billion. However, the second highest offer as of right now is $1.7 billion, and which is led by Jennifer Lopez, Alex Rodriguez, and now there's NFL players and current NBA or athletes jumping in and contributing. So Travis Kelce of the Chiefs, for example, Bradley Beal of the Washington Wizards, Mason Plumlee, and there's a handful of others. Even though Cohen is offering right now, a little bit more money, don't be surprised if the New York Mets are going to be owned by Alex Rodriguez and Jennifer Lopez. And Jennifer Lopez, to her credit, has earned every single dollar that she's made. And I believe she's going to be front and center. If this is pulled off, obviously she'll be a woman owner. She'll be equal with A-Rod. And the Mets originally were owned by a woman. And stay tuned. The Wilpons are selling. And I think Met fans can't wait for the Wilpons to leave New York. And we shall see. So I'm going to say there's more than a likely chance that A-Rod and J-Lo will be the new owners of the New York Mets. That's it.
It's that time again. Sports are starting up, and every time we have a new season of any sport, well, a million sports handicapping sites turn up, a million new sports handicappers turn up. Guys on Twitter with cartoon pictures and no accountability, just a PayPal account with some Gmail address. Send me money and I will send you winners. I never lose. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. You guys see we're 100% transparent here. Wins, losses, we always show up every single day. You know my name. You can Google me, Mitch Wilson. See my picture, probably some other shit about me. Maybe even some nasty comments that have been made about me over the years in forums on other websites and, other people trying to drag me down. But I don't really care. At least I'm honest and I'm 100% transparent and I'm here and I'm accountable for my picks and anything else that goes on our website. So you click on a banner, you sign up for a sports book. These are people that I, have vetted. You guys, it's documented, right? Me and DraftKings aren't in a big love affair, but we work together because we're in the same industry and at least they're publicly traded and I know where they live. So, I would just say buyer beware. I had a discussion with Charles Ormsby this morning about just, he just can't believe how he's newer to this industry and, he just can't believe how unscrupulous the people in our area are. And that's why I said, how does a guy from Chicago with $10 type into Google, how do I start a website and become a millionaire? because I'm willing to show up every day and be honest. And really, you guys give me a lot of leeway because of that. Because let's just say not every game I pick is a winner. Yeah, we've had a good share of winners. We've had a lot of winners, but certainly not all of them. And we're gonna have spread knowledge picks. I've been looking over it at spread knowledge, but it's been soccer. It's hard for me to get enthusiastic about it. But anyways, buyer beware. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. If they say they never lose, I say bullshit. Speaking of bullshit. Thanks, guys, for joining us.
Thank you.
Another
Thank
great
you.
show. Soon we'll have sports to talk about. We'll have baseball, basketball. Someone asked, when are we going to start covering NBA? They have a preseason to the restart starting on the 22nd. Today is the 14th, so that's 8 days away. MLB starts the 23rd with the Yankees, Nationals, Dodgers, Giants. Don't bet big on those games. We're just not getting enough value against Cole there to kind of back up the truck. That's enough to bet against them, right? Because that's what we're going to do every time he steps anywhere near a pitching mound. But it's enough. You don't want to back up the truck early in baseball. Especially because there's only 2 games on, so I gotta bet these games big or anything like that. Tread lightly, and I'll tell you, we haven't even put up our baseball or NBA picks for the regular season yet at Sports Chat or at Pick Dogs. We're gonna wait it out as long as we can, because we'll do it a couple days early, but we're gonna wait it out for a little bit because I want to see who's actually on the roster when all is said and done. But anyways, have a great rest of your day. Tomorrow we have a lot more action. We got NASCAR. Maybe Jeter will tell us his picks. Where can I see your picks after the live stream for Rod and Chris? Probably in the Facebook group, right? But I mean, you guys Chris has all of his picks on Pick Dogs and at Sports Chat Place. I mean, you can watch the show. There's no other games today, right? You guys gave your picks. Same. There's only two picks. I don't know. I don't understand the question. Did I answer it, Chris?
All my games are Pick Dogs and Sports Chat for today.
All right.
It's
We can't hear you anyway. All right. Have a great day, everyone. See you tomorrow.